Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie, and in this video, I'm talking about this beautiful lady, Micah. I think most of us know about the story of Micah, who took her own life not that long ago. And it's all a bit of a mystery, isn't it? Because people cannot believe that she took her own life because she was very religious, seemed like a very nice person. Probably a bit of an overthinker. Some of the videos that we've seen where you could tell that she was struggling with some issues. But the worst thing that she was struggling with, of course, was her horrible ex-husband, really, because they were separated, even though they weren't divorced. So this is John Paul Pastor, John JP. I've been thinking what fits with JP, and it's like Jiant Prick. Giant spelt with a J. You know, this guy has tortured this poor girl. He groomed her when she was 15 years old, when she was his babysitter. That's when their relationship sort of started. But he had another wife. He had 5 children. She married somebody else briefly as she got older. But we don't know the ins and outs of exactly when their relationship started. However, now it turns out, although it looks apparent that Micah probably did take her own life, despite everybody was thinking at first that he must have had something to do with it. Well, of course, he did have something to do with it because he's like pecked at her head. He's abused her all throughout their marriage. The videos we've watched where she's talking about how from the day of her marriage, she was subjected to every type of abuse possible. And all sorts of very distressing things have come out. There's been, you know, her father's talked about, did JP sort of get her to sleep with other men? You know, did he sleep with other men? I mean, this guy, talk about a giant prick with a big J. I know you don't spell giant with a J, but it just fits in. JP Pastor, Jiant Prick Pastor. Anyway, luckily, Micah wrote a diary, a journal, where she kept, you know, a ledger of this sort of abuse. And I believe this is now in the police's hands. If any charges are going to come, I don't know. Unlawful killing, depends how far her family wants to take it. You know, there's all sorts of ways to kill someone without actually pulling the trigger yourself. You torture someone for years over years and chip away at them until eventually they take their own life. And then you stalk them. You put tracking devices on their car, turn up wherever they are, post nude pictures of them online, you know, pretend to be them after you've had them committed and send emails to the congregation of the church. Micah took the church very seriously. These are things that JP did. So what we're going to look at today in this video, I mean, there's so many things that you could talk about that JP did, but I just want to show you something you may not have seen. I'm sure you've seen all sorts of things all over the internet, because the internet is, you know, YouTube, the YouTube streets, as they call them, are very wrapped up in this story because everyone feels for Micah. And like, because she had posted some things on her Facebook page about the way she felt, some videos about how she felt, etc., and how she was struggling to sort of pull things together. I think that always makes these cases more popular, if you like, on YouTube, because we've got video. We can see Micah. It's like Micah's talking to us from beyond the grave. It's not just a photo of someone. We can actually see her talking, giving heartfelt messages to people, and, you know, talking about the way she felt inside. So we get more of an idea of how Micah is as a person, and how, you know, just we start to empathize more because we can hear her words, not just seeing them written down. we can see Micah speaking her truth. So that makes us feel like we know her, like we're invested in her. And although we don't know her personally, but we've seen her with her thoughts laid bare, which reminds me, I need to light the candle for Micah. Where's my candle? Oh, there it is. So, you know, I always have a candle ready to light for whoever I'm talking about. But, you know, as you know, if you watch my videos regularly, this candle is not only for the cases that I cover, and this candle is particularly for Micah because I'm talking about Micah today, but I light the candle for all of us that are feeling a bit lost or need help, you know, some sort of emotional help, you know, like we could have financial problems, relationship problems. Maybe we've got mental health problems. We're dealing with difficult situations. We may have just lost someone. You know, or we may have lost someone quite a long time ago, but it's the anniversary today. There are lots of reasons why we may be feeling a bit lost. And this candle is for all of us, you and me, anybody who at any time is feeling lost, but particularly today for Micah. Now, Micah, you know, Micah is a religious person. We can see from her videos how strong her faith was. So we only can hope that Micah now is safe and not suffering anymore, at peace, you know, in the arms of Jesus, who she loves so much. Anyway, but still here is her twonk of an ex-husband, the Jiant Prick, JP. And for those of you who think maybe I'm being a bit unfair, you need to watch maybe some videos about JP, his thoughts on how a woman is, you know, if a man turns away from his wife, it's the wife's fault because she's not respecting him enough. You know, you don't respect your man enough, don't be surprised when he turns away and finds his respect somewhere else. He's one of them sort of pastors. You know, everything's permissible, even murder, because we all have our own, you know, personal responsibility. Oh my God, you could not make up the BS that this man comes out with. But don't forget to donate. Don't forget to donate. Don't forget to tithe. That's his favourite word, tithe. You watch his sermons, but don't forget to tithe. It's all about the money. It's all about the dinero, the spondulics with Jiant Prick, JP Pastor. So, but something that I think you may not have seen, you may or may not have seen this post by JP Pastor himself, very mysterious post that popped up on his TikTok last week. Popped up and was removed almost instantly. So it's not there anymore. And I thought we'd just have a look at it. And now sometimes I have to turn the sound down because it's got a couple of songs on it, which, you know, I'm not allowed to play for copyright reasons. So so occasionally I may have to turn it down. But you'll get the gist and I'll explain to you what's going on. What a prat. Here we go. So first thing you put on there was, so this is like a little amalgamation. It's one post that you put on TikTok, but it's got a few little different things on it. So pro 14:15, that'd be some scripture or another. A naive person is easily misled and believes every word he hears. A naive person is easily misled and believes every word he hears. Well, he would know because he's been manipulating not only Micah, probably his wife before, but he's been manipulating his whole congregation for quite a long time. So he knows about manipulation. And I think this is probably true and he would know better than most people. Well, the other thing I want to say about, of course, it comes, you know, it runs in the family. Manipulation, coercion. His father is well, a P basically, and he's, you know, he's been prosecuted for it. I will do a separate video on the family connections. And now apparently one of his sons has been was arrested for hitting a woman. You know, he doesn't have any respect for women. He doesn't show any respect for women. He's just awful. I mean, he's so awful. But people in his congregation, people do tithe. Well, he's constantly reminding them to anyway, and so I presume they do. Now, apparently he's been relieved of his pastoring duties at the Solid Rock Church, but anyway, there's more to come on this story, but I just wanted to show you this. So that was the first little bit. But so this is a picture of him and Micah, and him in his pink jacket. Not that I'm against men wearing pink. I like men wearing pink. Now there's a song here. Let me see. What is it? Oh. I may have turned the sound down. Is that actually playing? I think it is. I'm blessed, looking in the eyes of my children. Right, so I'm going to turn the sound down on that because that will definitely come up as copyright. So, showing this picture of him and Micah and playing that song, Blessed in the Eyes of My Children. Surrounded by now, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. That seems maybe that's some sort of advert. Stop drinking mushrooms or something. I don't even know what that is. I think I've come back to it. Hang on. Yeah, and this was, you know, Pastor John Paul, he's obsessed with comics. And they used to go to these comic conventions and he would have her dress up as, well, maybe she liked doing it. You know, people do like, so she's Wonder Woman in that picture. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that you knew what a creep he was, that's a lovely picture, isn't it? It's a lovely picture. Him as Spider-Man and her as Wonder Woman, sharing a nice kiss. They look like a happy couple. Now you know what's going on in the background. It just makes my spidey sense crawl. This was the day he proposed to her. He talked about that at the memorial. He did a memorial service for her, you know, without her family being there. Even though he and her have been separated for ages, he'd been making a life of misery, slashed her tires, threatened her, tracked her car. And this was obviously a happier day when he proposed to her on the beach. And he talked about that in the memorial service. So bearing in mind, he's put this TikTok video on just last week and then took it off immediately. Why is it just not playing? It's weird, this. It just won't play. These were the tattoos I presume they've both had together for getting married. Look, I'm not against tattoos, but tattoos are not a good idea. I don't like these tattoos for couples, you know, like, because so often couples split up. So it's one thing to take your wedding ring off. It's quite another to have a tattoo removed. So I certainly wouldn't recommend anyone tattoos with your children's name on. Yeah, fair enough. Your children are your children forever, but your partners are not your partners forever always.
You are my sun. Look.
So he's put on his TikTok that this was Micah's home screen picture. What's he trying to say? Now, this was a home screen picture. Well, don't forget, when he had her committed, he went into her social media and started messing around with it. Look, and he's got that, although he hasn't got his arm around her neck, you know, I've been saying before in videos, you can always tell, in my eyes, a coercive controller by the way they hold on to their partner. You know, sometimes they put their arm around the neck, but he hasn't got his arm around the neck. But look how he's clutching onto her. It's like, you're mine, you belong to me. That's not like a nice sort of lovey-dovey picture. She looks almost like she's holding away from him on that one. Maybe the light was starting to fade by then. You can see that in the beginning she was in love with him. But what she said herself was from the day they got married, she had been abused in every way you could imagine. So, you know. It's doing it again. I don't know why it's just not playing when I... There. His favourite picture of Micah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, what was that with the boobs growing?
God only knows what you've been through.
Hang on. So this was... Oh, God, it's moving too quick now. So that was his favourite picture of Micah in her jammies. It's a lovely picture. It is a lovely picture. Then she's obviously going off to, you know, apparently she was adventurous. She liked sport, etc. So yeah, hope she enjoyed that. What's that? Anyway, that's a lovely picture, lovely picture.
God only knows what you've been through.
Magnetic charging.
What's a soulmate?
It's well, it's like a best friend, but more. It's the one person in the world who knows you better than anyone else.
What's a soulmate? A person who looks like a best friend but better, someone who loves you more than anyone else. So he's put this on, he's trying to make it look like he and Micah were in some sort of perfect relationship, and he, you know, but they were separated. They were separated and he was making her life a misery. What's wrong with him? You know, anyway, it's gone. This poster's gone now.
It's someone who makes you a better person. Actually, they don't make you a better person.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of copyright on this. So let me, maybe I should turn the sound down a minute now, just. Talks about soulmates. That's a nice picture, but again, they're all nice pictures. Micah always looks lovely in every picture. Look, this was some sort of a comic thing that he had made up. You know, he's obsessed with comics, and he got Micah to dress up. Or maybe she enjoyed it. I don't know. You know, I can't say that she didn't enjoy doing that. I think Micah would be someone who'd do what she could to please her husband as well. You know, she'd want to please him. She'd what, you know, it probably started off as being a bit of fun, but I just think it probably got weird. Here we go. Here's another proverb. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameless and foolish. I expect that's, you know, a dig at everybody else. This actually might have made me go cold. That You're Mine to Love. Now this, she sings. She's got a beautiful voice, Micah. I can't get the sound up. Hang on. Can't get the sound on now. So it's, I had the time of my life and I owe it all to you. So obviously at some point she's had that video made for him.
In the eyes of my children.
Right, I think that's going back to the beginning there again. So then there's the picture of her with, let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. Then there's a picture of her with her T-shirt with Mrs. Miller on it, pointing to it.
But I'm blessed, looking in the eyes of my children, surrounded by.
Do you know, it's so odd at like watching this again. Why did he put this post up? So he put, this wasn't individual posts. He's put together a little video of all these different pictures and things that obviously mean a lot to him about Micah. Put it on his TikTok, literally just left it up for a couple of hours and then took it down. What was the point of it, I wonder? He's a very strange guy. Oh. I think it's clear that at some time Micah was in love with him, you know, but then probably the abuse just mounted up and he just wrecked her life. You know, and yes, it was, if she took her own life in the end, of course it was her responsibility in the end, but, you know, she was pushed to it over years of abuse from this man. Maybe she just couldn't see any way out, because when you've got a stalker like him, they never give up. They never give up. And I wonder if she's just realised that she was never going to get away from him. And of course, the crime she committed in his eyes was she didn't want to be with him anymore. And he was threatening her. It's like, you don't want to be with me, just make sure she's not going to be with anybody else, wouldn't he? No, he had to be in complete control. Oh, so that one we just missed there. The actual truth is about to come out. Get ready. So this was on the end of this video. So come on then, Jiant Prick. Let's see the truth come out. We're waiting for the truth to come out, Mr. Pastor. We are waiting for the truth to come out. We're ready. No, when you see a woman, she's so vibrant, so young. She's only 30 years old, vibrant, attractive, you know, nice personality, caring, loving, all those things extinguished. She's been extinguished. She's been extinguished by this man. She just couldn't take it anymore. And he's still trying to preach to everybody as if he's had nothing to do with it. Half the time, I can't even listen to his voice now. You know, if I listen to his sermons, oh, I just can't bear his voice. He's just like a whingy man baby, isn't he? Complete whingy man baby. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. So I thought maybe you hadn't seen that before, but that was a post made by JP himself. JP Miller, this fantastic pastor. Do you know what? I have so much respect for anyone who has faith. And if they get something from their faith, I'm so glad for them that they do. But how anyone could watch that guy and be taken in, you know, by his... It's just awful, the things he says. They're not even godly. They're not godly. The things he says, God would not have meant for us, or Christ. You know, if you believe in Christ or God or you don't or whatever, or like me, I'm sort of like spiritual but not religious. But I do believe in a higher power, and I do believe in Jesus. And do you know, how could, if you believed in the teachings of Jesus, how could you believe that Jesus would want someone to act in that manner, the way he acted towards her? Just wouldn't be. Okay, so remember to live and love wisely and carefully. Be careful which church you go to. And just because somebody is a pastor, a religious man or woman, does not mean they're a good person. You know, you have to look behind the facade sometimes. Okay, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Rest in peace, in eternal peace, Micah.